I think we already have 15 people on the call, Shiva, so I think probably we should start.
Welcome all to this month, May, the edition of the INDUS Special Interest Group for S4HANA. So the objective of this gathering is to share some knowledge on S4HANA. So the topic that we have chosen for the day is integration. So since among the group of INDUS members, part of this group, so most of the customers are either on live on S4HANA or doing S4HANA, or some of you might be about to start your S4HANA journey. One topic which is always critical in the back of our mind, just like people say, the weakest link is the strength of the whole. So integrations play a very critical role in all S4 projects. So by integrations, it might be a point-to-point integration, it might be one-to-N integration, it might be two SAP systems to non-SAP systems. So today in the call, we have got Abhijit, who's an expert on this topic of S4HANA integrations, not S4HANA integration, integrations as a whole. So he'll be talking to us as to how you can connect your S4HANA systems to the other, what all options are available within your S4HANA to connect them to the external systems, and also some of the best practices, the do's and don'ts, so that we can have a better integrated S4HANA system. Abhijit, can I request your time?
Yeah, hi, can you hear me?
Yes, Abhijit, we can hear you.
Okay, so shall we start?
Hello. Yes, Abhijit.
Yeah. Okay, hi, hello everyone. So let me introduce myself first. So my name is Abhijit Bulakhe, and I'm having around 17 years of SAP experience, both in consulting as well as product management. So I did almost 13 or 14 years consulting, where I did, and my core my core skill was is integration and extensibility. So I have done multiple customer projects involving retail, IS retail, insurance, and other domains. And currently I'm working in SAP. I'm in SAP Labs and doing product management and product success and customer co-innovation. Okay, so let me. Okay, so today's topic is S4HANA integration. And the agenda is, first I will talk about integration rationale and methodology, and then we will see what are the different integration options we have for S4HANA on-premise systems. Okay, so this is a generic diagram basically for a key customer requirements towards SAP, either it can be an on-premise or cloud or whatever system you name. So here you can see there are some user-centric application, real-world objects, on-premise system, cloud systems, and everything. So the purpose of this is because integration becomes a key enabler for digital transformation of organizations. Okay, and the systems to be connected typically speak different communication protocols, and they store their data in different formats and structures. Okay, so as cloud, mobile, and IoT scenarios are added to customer landscape, the scope of integration continuously increases. So they are challenged to extend their integration architecture to address these new domains of integration. Okay, so usually customers increasingly extend and integrate their existing on-premise applications to the cloud. And those who are already using cloud solutions, they expect on-premise and cloud solutions from SAP to integrate with each other, as well as with the non-SAP applications. Okay, so like user-centric applications such as Fiori apps or mobile apps, they needs to be seamlessly integrated with application in the cloud or an on-premise to provide an omni-channel user experience. Okay, so in such cases, then when we talk about enterprise architects, those who define the integration strategy in their company system, they usually try to find the best possible way to provide integration guidance across the multiple teams, projects, and system integrators. And for them, it is important to look for the most suitable integration technology to approach new integration domains. So the goal of SAP integration strategy is to increase the straightforwardness of integration between SAP application by aligning their processes and related data models, including the publication of APIs. Okay, and the target is to simplify the integration solutions, basically, especially for the line of business, LOBs, cloud integration scenarios, and to further deepen the integration between SAP applications over the time. Okay, so here we can see user-centric applications like pads or mobiles or laptops or chat applications which is required to integrate with SAP solutions. Similarly, real-world objects like a trolley or a assembly line or a robot needs to be integrated. So these are all usually customer-specific requirements where it is required to integrate SAP applications. Okay, so now let's talk about the connectivity options. That what are the different options available for integration. So first we will talk about the point-to-point. There is a direct connectivity option using DRF framework, data replication framework. Usually DRF framework is used for master data replication. Suppose there is a requirement to integrate master data from on-premise S/4HANA on-premise system to S/4HANA cloud system. So in that case, we can use this direct connectivity option using DRF replication framework, data replication framework. And then we have some we can also use middlewares like SAP Cloud Integration. So SAP Cloud Integration is a cloud-based middleware integration tool where we can involve this middleware when we need to integrate two different systems which has different data structures. For example, my S/4HANA on-premise system understands IDOCs and BAPIs. Okay, but I have a third-party system which understands only an XML file. So in that case, if data is coming from an XML file, and then how should I integrate with S/4HANA on-premise system? So in this situation, we can use these middlewares where it will convert that XML data into SAP readable format and then call the IDOCs or APIs or BAPIs to upload that information or replicate that information back to SAP system. And then there is an on-premise based middleware also. We call it a SAP Process Orchestration, PO. And this can also be used. And one more thing about SAP Cloud Integration, SAP has provided some standard integration containts for SAP Cloud Integration. So I will come back to this specific cloud integration topic later also to show you in the system that what standard integration containts are available from SAP for integration as HANA systems, as for HANA systems. Then we have Cloud Connector. So Cloud Connector is basically nothing like it's an on-premise based application which helps to connect a cloud application, any cloud application with your on-premise system, because generally on-premise system sits in the customer location behind the firewall. So if any third party or if any SAP cloud application wants to integrate with that system, then it has to go through the Cloud Connector. So Cloud Connector will act as a VPN connection. Okay. Okay. So then let's talk about SAP integration technologies. Um, so when we talk about on-premise and cloud applications, or any SAP or non-SAP application, so between an on-premise and cloud applications, we can have different middlewares. So normally the deciding factor is depends on the system landscape and what are the pre-packaged or standard integration contents available, and also the TCO, total cost of ownership, that and the go live timings and how much time it needs, and what are the connectivity options available. So these are all deciding factors where we decide which integration technology, where an enterprise architect can decide that which integration technology should be used for our SAP S/4HANA integration scenarios. Okay, so during the first slide, I was talking about I talked about APIs, like application interfaces. Okay, so in S/4HANA on-premise systems, anyway, we have BAPIs and IDOCs. Everybody knows about it, so I will not discuss much on IDOCs and BAPIs because these are the traditional SAP APIs which can be used to integrate with with other SAP systems as well as with non-SAP, third-party non-SAP applications. And apart from that, we have APIs also. So we have SOAP APIs and OData APIs. So SOAP APIs are basically, it's a protocol, SOAP protocol for exchanging information. And this protocol is mostly is an asynchronous messaging where you can send a request and it will not send back any response. Instead of that, it can trigger some confirmation, another service for a confirmation, and you can receive a confirmation back. And these such type of services can be monitored using the error handling tool within the SAP system. So using that, we can monitor these SOAP messages. And then the OData APIs, this is an open data protocol. This is also a data access protocol. And OData usually have multiple operations like CRUD operations, like standard CRUD operations like create, read, update, and delete. Okay, so one OData API will have multiple options or multiple operations. So depending on the requirement, we can use, suppose, let's talk about the business partner. So for business partner, I can read business partner data from my on-premise system, from my SAP system. Similarly, I can create a business partner. I can update a business partner from some third-party application, or I can delete some required data also. And most of the OData APIs, almost all OData APIs are synchronous APIs. That means when you send a request to a SAP system, it will send back some response. Whether, suppose, if I'm creating a business partner in S/4HANA using a OData API, it will create the system, that API will create the business partner, and immediately then it will send back the response that business partner 1, 2, 3, 4 has been created. Or if there is an error, then it will give some whatever, if it is a technical user password authentication error, or it is a functional error, some dependent data is missing. So accordingly, it will give you specific details. Okay, so and then BAPIs and IDOCs, we all know that since ages for SAP, IDOCs and BAPIs are always two communication methods which can be used for integration. So, and there are some drawbacks for IDOCs and BAPIs also, which are covered in APIs. Like IDOCs cannot be synchronous. IDOC is always asynchronous, means you can either send the data It's a one-way. Means if you want to see whether that data has been successfully reached to the target system, you have to go and check in the system that specific error handling feature. And BAPI, yeah, BAPI can be RFC enabled. BAPI's function modules can be two-way. It can be a one-way also. And these APIs, ultimately, these APIs, they call BAPI in the backend system. So mostly BAPI is the most important tool, because all APIs and even IDOC calls a BAPI in the background. So BAPI has all the structures, and there is a overlap tool where an API wrapper is built for that BAPI, and we call it an OData or a SOAP API, which can be used from any third-party application. These are the whitelisted APIs. Okay, so and there are almost for S4HANA on-premise system, SAP has provided some whitelisted APIs, all around 300 plus 331 to be precise. APIs are available as of now, and every release SAP is trying to release new APIs. So in the later stage, I will show how to find or how to analyze these APIs in S4HANA system, how to check the SOAP APIs, OData APIs, and all those. And then we will talk about SAP Business Technology Platform, BTP, that how it can be used for integration features, like because this cloud integration, I was talking about this middleware, right? Cloud integration, it is a BTP service. So BTP is a platform. Its earlier name was SAP Cloud Platform. Now it has been rebranded and it's called BTP, Business Technology Platform. So these cloud integration is a service. Similarly, we will talk about API management service is also there in BTP. So this we will talk about in the next slides. Okay, so this is the basic introduction, or why we need integration, why and what are the different connectivity options we have to use, and what are the types of APIs we use. This is all about the basics about the integration. Okay, so yeah, so Shiva, you want to take over for some time before going to next slide?
Thanks, Abhijit. Mukesh, we had planned to have the colleagues just for the audience. Yes, one is attending a session, getting to know the topics, but we also wanted, since we have about 48 members and most of us are from the S4HANA community, a short introduction among ourselves, just about 2 to 3 minutes. Mukesh, would you want to say how we will be doing it?
Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create breakout rooms and put all of you in the breakout rooms. You will probably have about three to four people in a breakout room. For the next 1 minute, I think it is important that you just quickly introduce yourself, your name, company, and your current status of S4. We'll just take a minute or so. And in a minute, you'll again be back to the main room so we can continue. This is important because while it might take a little bit more longer for us to get into a room and network with each other, I think it is important that we continue to build new relationships and make new friends, at least virtually, until the time we get back into a room. So I'm just going to create about 12 meeting rooms, which means there'll be about 3 or 4 people in your meeting room. You will go into that. And once you've introduced them yourself, then just say leave breakout room and you will be back to the main session. Yeah. So I'm just creating the rooms right now. And I just added all of you. So for all of you who are still in the main room, if you want to introduce yourself here, you can do so as well. Just unmute yourself and introduce yourself.
Hi, Mukesh, Shilpa here.
Hi, Shilpa.
Hi. So I joined room number 6 where there was no one over there.
Oh, okay. That's strange.
Uh-huh.
No problem. So I'll put you in room number 4 then. So maybe there are already, I can
Okay.
see 3 people there.
Yeah.
For all of you who have joined back, I hope you had at least someone whom you introduced yourself to and got introduced to. I think it is important that we are able to continue to build our networks and get to know people, because one of the biggest strength of a community is when you know people and what they are doing, whom you can reach out to in order, in times when you need support and all of that. So we will try and do this almost in every Indus activity going forward, so that you can continue to build your network, even though we are still primarily virtual from that perspective. So I think we should all be back in about 30 seconds. And Vijit, if I may ask you to unmute yourself and kind of take it away from there.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mukesh. We had a good interaction with customers.
Abhijit, you can take it.
Yeah. Okay. Shall we start the next topic?
Yes, please.
Okay. So okay. So now with agenda, the next topic is what are the different options, integration options available for S/4HANA. Okay, so we have seen the APIs that how that we have SOAP APIs, OData APIs. Now let's see in the system also that how to search these APIs. Where are these APIs available, right? So where to explore these APIs? So we have a API business hub called api.sap.com. So I will show you in the system also. So here we have APIs available for S/4HANA Cloud as well as S/4HANA on-premise. Apart from that, we have APIs for other SAP Cloud applications like Fieldglass, SuccessFactors, C4, HANA, Ariba, and all those things. Okay, so yeah, so let me go back to API Hub. Okay, so we can log in. So this is a API business hub where all the SAP provided APIs are available. So you can see there is an option for S/4HANA Cloud as well as S/4HANA on-premise. So I can show you cloud also. S/4HANA Cloud has around 400 plus whitelisted APIs available. Similarly, as S/4HANA on-premise, let's talk about on-premise. Okay, we have around 331 APIs available here. So let's search for one API sales order. Okay, so so I can see here whether it's a SOAP API or OData API, and on the left hand side I can filter it based on the types. So I have these many SOAP APIs, these many APIs available for sales order. Okay, so OData API for read. If I click on this, so this is my OData API. Okay, for sales order. So if I go to details, it will talk about that what exactly this API does. Okay, you can read sales order, you can create sales order. Okay, you can change existing sales order and all those things, and you can download the API signature like a WSDL file, and this is the API URL basically, and there is a documentation also available for this. So if I click, so I can see the documentation. It will tell me that how to implement this API, what are the mandatory fields, and how many API, how many optional fields are there, and what field level information is required. So everything is available in this documentation. Okay, so meanwhile, I will go back here. So if I click on this API reference, you can see I have these many operations here for sales order. Like get means for read, post is for create, and then patch is update, delete. Okay, so these many API operations are available on the left hand side. We can see the operation list, that sales order details. Okay, then similarly, I have then if I talk about SOAP API, this is A2A replication. Okay, so this API, this is a SOAP API. This type is SOAP API, and here we can create or change sales order. So, yeah. Here we can create and change sales order, and based on the following, based on the header details or the line item details, and we can. Okay, so for SOAP API also we have a documentation page available here. Okay, it's taking time. So okay, so let's go back to our slide now. So we have seen how to explore the APIs, where to find these APIs. Okay, so in best practice, or sorry, in the API hub, we have all the whitelisted APIs available. So any customer who wants to implement these APIs, They can just go and check for the signature. Even the documentation is available, how to replicate these, how to use these APIs to replicate data from into S/4HANA system, or from S/4HANA to some outside system. Okay, so now let's talk about what we have seen is the API hub, that where to find these APIs. Now let's see in the system that where all these APIs are available. Okay, because we know IDOCs and BAPIs, there is a transaction codes for IDOCs and BAPIs, or function modules. Similarly, we have a certain specific transaction codes um, for these APIs also. For the OData API, this is a transaction code. So let me put the stick code in the system. Okay, so these are the APIs. So how to find? So I can go back to that API hub, and suppose let's talk about sales order again. Okay, so this is my OData API. Go to details. Here I can see the signature production URL, so I can just search for by this name, API underscore. So yeah, so this one. So this is my sales order available here, API sales order. And if I want to test this API, I can test it either within the system using SAP Gateway. So we have an SAP Gateway here. So, and if I want to check the OData signature, so I can click on call browser, and it will open a browser where I can see the sales order API signature. It will ask me username and password for that. Okay, and if I go to SAP Gateway client, I can, if I want to test it, then I can go to SAP Gateway client and give some data. If it is a read API, then suppose if I execute this, okay, you can see the status code is 200. That means it has been successfully connected to this API. And these are the signature. These are the other operations by what we have seen in the API hub. 1 second, let me, where is that API hub? Yeah, so if I go to API reference, you can see on the left hand side, this sales order information, A underscore sales order for post, and then sales order item. So all these API operations are available here. So I can filter, I can select whichever is required for our scenario, and then I can test it. The other way is you can also test these APIs from any other third-party non-SAP application also. For example, you can test OData API using a tool called Postman. It's a Google Chrome tool, freely available. Otherwise, there is a tool called SOAP UI. So that tool can also be used for testing these APIs. So you just need to download the API signature, create a project in that system, and provide the username, password, and it will trigger that API, and you can execute that API. So let me go back. Okay, so this is what we were talking about, that for any OData API, there is a transaction code, whatever I have mentioned here. So when we execute this T code, you can see the list of APIs, and all the whitelisted APIs, whatever we have seen in the API hub, those will be available here. Okay, so this is how we can test it using SAP Gateway Client. And we can test all the operations like get, post, means CRUD operations: create, read, update, delete, merge, whatever is required. Okay, so this is about OData API. Then we can talk about SOAP API. So for SOAP API, there is a separate transaction code called SOA manager. Okay, so when we execute this T code, a URL, web URL will open this central SOA management, where we have all these administrative or technical administration, log and traces, and monitoring tools, and everything related to SOAP APIs are available here. So if you go to web service configuration, there you can search for your sales order API. Okay, and that API will be available here. Then you need to create a binding for that API. You have to provide the authentication details, whether you need a username password authentication or you need a certificate based authentication. That needs to be provided while creating this service and bindings. Okay, and yeah, you can see once you create the binding, then it will generate a WSDL file, and that WSDL file is an API which can SOAP API which can be called from any third-party application. So once these APIs are generated, it is not mandatory to have any middleware for this. You can call these APIs from any third-party application without involving a middleware. So middleware is not a mandatory thing, but yes, if it is an IDOC or a BAPI, you want to communicate with some other applications, then you need a middleware. But if you are calling an API, a whitelisted API from S4HANA system, then you don't need a middleware. You can directly call from a third-party application or directly from a web application. Okay, so let's see this SOAP API in the system. Okay, so we'll open SOA manager. This needs to be open in Google Chrome. Okay, so this is a SOA manager. If we go to web service configuration, I can see the list of APIs. So again, I will go back to my API hub. Okay, and we'll search for a SOAP API. Search for sales order again. SOAP APIs. Okay, so let's search for this sales order A2A API. Okay, if I go down, sorry, API reference, I can see the name sales order bulk request. Just go in. So I can search for this API here. Now you can see this internal name or type definition. And this API is available. SOAP API is available in the system. So this I have created like create SO. I can go and create a service and binding and provide a service name, binding name, provide a provider, SOAP protocols, security, that how the authentication should be done, whether it is whether it should be a username password authentication, or we need a SOAP or certificate based authentication. So all these things we can do from here. Okay, once this service binding is done, then I can see the WSDL's signature here. Okay, if I can open this WSDL signature in a web browser. Okay, so this is my WSDL file for a SOAP API. So I can use from any third-party tool or any non-SAP application. And when this API is called, and if you pass data, proper data to it, it will create. Suppose let's talk about again sales order. If I want to create a sales order and data is coming from some third-party application, so from that third-party application, we can call this API, pass the relevant data, and when we execute it, it will create a sales order in S/4HANA system. And then and as I told you that most of the SOAP APIs are asynchronous APIs, means it's a one-way communication. Then we have a monitoring option here, like web service utilities. Okay, so there we can see we have to add our user here. Okay, now if I see the error log, I can see the error logs for all the SOAP APIs messages. Okay, so if something goes wrong, or my message has not been successfully reached, or my sales order has not been created, then I can come to this monitor. Similarly, there is a message monitor option. If my message is successful, I can go there and check. If there is any specific error, like you can see here, it's showing a system error for some specific API call, and it is giving me error information also. So I can drill down the error details, that what is the error, and act accordingly to rectify the error and reprocess the message. Okay, so let's go back to the slides. Sorry. Yeah, so so this is how we can analyze APIs, SOAP APIs, as well as OData APIs. So I have not talked much about iDocs and BAPIs, because since we are talking about on-premise system, and everybody knows how it works, and that's why I'm focused only on the API, how to consume the APIs for S/4HANA system. Okay, so if you have any questions, we can discuss. Otherwise, I can move to the next topic.
Hi Abhijit, I have several questions I put in chat. Should I ask over here?
Okay, let me check.
So we can go through very quickly. Are these APIs all in a released version, or is there any concept of beta version as well?
No, these are whichever APIs you see in API Hub, api.sap.com, those are the released APIs.
Released ones, okay. And the message monitor that you displayed just now, is it common for OData service as well as SOAP service?
No, for SOAP service, it's a separate one, and for OData, it's a different one.
So I cannot get a common log then of all the messages that were transferred through services.
But there are some API services where you can call those log APIs, and you can get those log at a single piece.
Okay, we do that at our end. Okay, and then for troubleshooting, what all T codes will I be using? I know you displayed one just now, but that may not be sufficient, right?
Yeah, this SRT util is for this is a basic transaction code, and then if you do underscore log or underscore monitor, it will give you different pages.
Okay. And what is your recommendation if I am expecting a large volume of data, say of sales order coming into SAP for creation? Of course, we do have the concept of iDocs, which was giving an audit trail in itself, and that was the beauty of it. But what do you recommend now going ahead? Go with the OData services if available, or stick to the iDocs?
SAP's recommendation for S/4HANA on-premise as well as for cloud, the recommendation is we should move towards APIs, because going forward, all the standard integration contains or whatever contains are available, they will be available for the APIs.
Okay, thank you. And one last question. Considering that if I were to host any API directly on my core, I would have to open up my core to several external systems, and I don't want to do that. So I might still decide to go with SAP PO. I believe then we should be in a position to host these same services on PO as well, right?
Yes, because PO, it's a middleware, right? So you can any system you can connect with PO middleware. Either it's a CPI, either it's a cloud integration, or it's a process orchestration.
And one last question, Abhijit. Thanks, you've been very helpful. But last question, that with the cloud integration, I believe if we have done some integrations using SAP PO, it will always remain, right? The cloud integration platform may never replace PO, is what I have understood. Can you clarify?
Yes, because PO is an on-premise based application. It will be hosted on in the customer landscape. And this cloud integration, cloud platform integration is a cloud-based application. It is managed by SAP.
Right, but given the features, do you feel will I ever be able to replace my on-prem SAP PO completely with cloud integration
Because
platform?
in fact, this cloud integration has more features.
Features.
Yeah, incoming.
Okay.
They will be having more features, and also all the standard integration contains whichever SAP is providing. Now those are specifically for cloud integration. So and that those contains include they are for both SAP S/4HANA Cloud as well as S/4HANA on-premise.
Got it. Got it. Thank you. Thanks for the clarity, Abhijit.
Yeah. Okay. So then we will go to the next topic.
Abhijit, there are a few more questions on the chat. Would you like to take them now, or would you like to take them at the end?
Okay, let me check. Okay.
So just so that, for the benefit of people who view the recording later, before answering the question, if you could just summarize the question and then answer it, please.
Sure. Let me check questions.
I can ask if you want me to ask, or Shiva can ask.
Okay, how
so one of the
can
question
I
was,
get a log of for all? Okay, yeah, you can ask, no problem.
Okay, so I think the first one you already answered.
Yeah.
Oh no. So how can I get a log of all the records if they were transferred through APIs? What monitoring mechanism do you have?
I have shown those monitoring mechanisms, right? There are certain T codes where you can monitor all the.
So Ramnik asked, can we use the API for extraction of data for BI system, which is a non-SAP BI system?
Yes.
So Srinivas asked, also, is there a way to get module-wise, process-wise API list? I think that's available on the API Hub, if I remember.
API Hub, I can show you just a minute.
So I think, yeah, so you already showed that as well. So I think Sunil also asked the same question. So Sunil, api.sap.com is the place to go to. Anand asked, what is the reason SOA Manager launch ends in Internet Explorer, even when the default is Edge browser or Chrome?
Okay, Abhijit is showing in the screen the previous question. A minute.
Yeah, okay. So, Shiva, I'll probably need to drop off now
Sure.
for the next meeting, which you can just continue this with. Thanks.
We
Thanks,
have
everyone.
LOB wise API events. Okay, let me workflow event, yeah, integration. CDS view. So we have an option where we can see LOB wise API list is available here. Event based. Oh no. Okay. And also in API Hub, if we have some third-party APIs released by vendors, uh, those vendors can host their APIs in API Hub, and the customer, anyone who wants to use it, they can use it based on the requirement.
Thanks, Abhijit. Anand has a question. What is the reason SOA Manager launch ends in Internet Explorer? The default is Edge browser or Chrome, but still it lands in Internet Explorer. Should it? Yeah.
There is a setting. It will then it can change to Chrome browser.
Got it. Anand, I think this answers. In case it doesn't, probably you can raise it. Shilpa's question, how can I get a log of all the recs that were transferred through API? What monitoring is available?
Yeah.
What T codes? I think we have answered this, right?
Yeah, we have answered.
Okay. Ravi has a question. What to know if I consume APIs on Hub from a ERP HP system?
If you have a ERP system, then you will not find these whitelisted APIs, but you can create an API from a function module. Okay, API means a web service. You can generate a web service, and then that web service can be called from any third-party application. Because I have done this long back for a retail customer. It's a Saudi customer. So in that requirement was that their warehouse was having. They want a tool, or they were having some handheld device, and the supervisor wants to check the what are the stock available for a specific item. So they want to check from their handheld device. So what we did, there was a function module available, RFC function model available for availability check. So we created a web service because that was an ERP system. So we created a web service and we consumed that web service from that handheld device. And we created a small UI for that. And we just need to put the material number. And when you submit it, it will go back, it will call that web service from the ERP system. It will fetch back information, stock related information from the backend, and that can be displayed. So this is how, if it is an ERP, you can create a web service from RFC function model, remote enabled function model.
Got it, Abhijit. The next question is from Anand. How about AIF for monitoring interfaces using both SOAP as well as OData?
Yes, AIF application interface framework is there for, but that is available for cloud, and for on-premise you need to do some configuration for that to activate those AIF logs. So AIF you can monitor SOAP APIs. OData API is normally it's a synchronous API, so we don't need to monitor it from the, because as soon as you send a request, immediately you will get a response whether it's successfully triggered or not. But for SOAP API, you can monitor from AIF monitoring also. And in AIF, you have an option to reprocess a message or cancel a message if something goes wrong. So that option is also there. But for that, you need to do some basic configuration to enable those AIF monitors.
Got it, Abhijit. The next question is from Sunil Gupta.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a place to find out the common APIs for all systems? By all systems, I mean ECC, S4HANA, cloud or S4HANA on-premise, so that the external system can communicate without worrying about the version of the APIs?
Everything is available in API Hub. If any API is not available in API Hub, that means that is not supported.
Got it. The last question is again, will these APIs be able to handle the data if we were to use it for extraction of data to an external BW system?
Okay, so you mean we want to extract some, suppose let's talk about master data. We want to extract business partner data from S4HANA on-premise and then replicate it into BW system, right?
Yes.
Yes, that can be done. Using APIs we can extract, but in that case, if BW has some inbuilt calling mechanism, then yes, we can directly call that API and get the data. Otherwise, we can involve a middleware in between where we can send data from on-premise system to that middleware, and then middleware will call BW cubes or data sources, and data can be replicated in BW system.
The next question is from Ms. Shilpa. With the availability of APIs now, I think we can replace J connector from external systems. Please confirm.
J connector, I'm not sure. I will answer this later because I'm not sure about.
Yeah, no problem, Abhijit. You can share with me later on. Now I think the J connector and the .NET connectors then will become obsolete. You can let me know later on. Yes.
Okay.
That's the questions available on chat. In case any of the participants wants to ask any questions, yes, happy.
Abhijit Srinivas here, just one question. So we thought the customers having just a plain S4HANA on-prem,
okay,
and then various interfaces or third-party applications where you pass on data or exchange data. For all this monitoring, we can do everything within S4HANA on-prem instance itself without any additional licenses?
Yes, we can do that. Otherwise, you can monitor it from Solution Manager also, if you want.
Okay. So is there any document which gives the links or T codes and what are the various options to monitor all the interfaces, transactions, the schedules?
Some transaction codes I have already shown in those slides for how to monitor the SOAP APIs and OData APIs. There is AIF monitoring is also there. And apart from that, logs also, yes, we can see application logs. There are certain transaction codes for that, but I can share those details.
Yeah, because I've noted on one SIT_UTL and other one, I think you mentioned. So is it only T code or what are the other T codes?
SOA manager is one T code.
Yeah. Yeah, that also I've noted down. Is there anything else other than SOA manager and SIT_UTL?
Yeah, this one is there. This is for the OData, not for monitoring. This is for how to access the OData APIs, and within this, there is an error log option is also there. If you can see, there is an error log option is also there, so you can monitor these OData APIs.
I think the T code is quite lengthy. Can you just paste it in chat or somewhere?
Sure, I'll do that.
This is Anand here. Just one quick question. You are showing this maintenance service, but this place, you have to go and search your particular OData and check your error log, right? So instead of that, where one place, I sending multiple OData interfaces or SOAP-based interfaces in chronological order. If I get the information about whether it has passed on to the respective system, what is that error or successful message. So that would definitely give more advantage rather than getting here and choosing one particular.
For that, I can suggest multiple options. Like you can use application interface framework, AIF monitoring, or you can do monitoring from. You can configure these monitoring options in your solution manager also. From there, you don't need to log into different systems. If you have 3 systems, for example, an on-premise system, a middleware, and some other SAP application, and if there is an interface built between these systems, and if that interface fails, then we have to check all the three systems where exactly it failed. So to avoid that, you can configure that monitoring option. There is a concept called heartbeat monitoring in Solution Manager. So using that, in a single page, you can see all those 3 monitoring features, and you can check where it went wrong. If it is successful, it will be in green. If it is red, then you can drill down and check why it failed and all this.
As part of this webinar, will you be able to give pointers, documents?
I don't have access. Documents I can give you later, but right now system access, I don't have any solution manager access right now.
So we don't want system access, but some pointers, SAP deliver documents will do.
Okay. I will share it after this call.
We'll add it to the PowerPoint itself so that it will be attached to the final share of the contents.
Okay, fine.
Abhijit, just one question, last question from my side. What are the various options currently SAP S/4HANA has for data transfers in bulk in CSV files or in Excel sheets from external system to SAP? Is it only A11 without middleware?
Without middleware, as I told you that if you expose an API, if you can consume that API from any third-party application, and if that third-party application is capable of consuming an API, then you can, without involving a middleware, you can directly call that API and pass on data. But yes, if it is an XML file, then AL11 is the one option. Otherwise, if you want to automate it, and then you can use a middleware where it will automatically look for the specific file, whichever format it may be, and it can convert that data into SAP readable format and then replicate.
How about IRPA? So can you, if you have IRPA configured, so
yes, RPA, robotic automation, right? So it is a service based on BTP, Business Technology Platform. Okay, and there are some standard. It's a bot basically using machine learning and artificial intelligence. So these SAP has provided standard bots where we can, where customer can use those to create some data automatically using whether it is an ERP system or an on-premise or cloud. So there are different. So there is a separate bot store available where you can see all the standard SAP RPA bots, whichever are available for consumption. But yes, RPA can be used, but RPA means if you have a lot of customizing and other things, then you have to use a middleware. And RPA is basically is an unattended mode, and for the basic day-to-day activities, if there are some day-to-day repetitive activities you are doing every day, that you can automate it using RPA. But if there is some financial closing or year-end closing or some important task, then triggered every specific week or specific month, then that case you have to use a middleware or you have to use an interface for that.
Abhijit, can I just add a point here?
Yeah.
So one extra point will be, yes, the question was regard to the CSV or an Excel file which comes and sits in a folder. So apart from the options discussed, yes, RPA can also be used, just like what Abhijit mentioned, to keep reading that place, and the moment a file is available there, to get it, post it, and to print an error log as per what you want. So that's one more option which can definitely be considered. If it is just, let's say, an incoming file to create lots of purchase orders, or to create lots of sales orders, or to create invoices. So for any of them, yes, a bot can just read the folder, pick up the file from there, post it in SAP, provide you the log immediately.
And but RPA is not a free tool, right? It is a licensed one, subscription. You have to buy a subscription for that, and then only you can use those RPA bots. But if you have an S/4HANA on-premise system, and if you can expose that API from any third-party application, in that case, you don't need a middleware, or you don't need a separate subscription or separate license for.
Agreed. Any additional queries from anyone? Perfect. So if there's no further questions, yes, two things will be done after this. The recording will be shared, as well as we'll try to speak to Mukesh and ensure that the PowerPoint in a format can be reaching you, so that you can look for all the contents, or look back for any of the contents or the reference URLs. Thanks a lot for all your time. Thanks, Abhijit.
Yeah, I want to talk about this SAP BTP also.
Sorry. Let's.
Okay. Yeah. So this BTP business technology platform, it's a platform where all the SAP services are hosted. Okay. So you can look for different services. There is a service called SAP API management. Even this cloud integration. Cloud integration is hosted on BTP. Even RPA is hosted on BTP. Let me open that. There is a trial version of that. Yeah. So here you can see these are the different services hosted on BTP client, and I can show you related to integration. Yeah, you can see intelligent IRPA is also intelligent robotic process automation. It's also a service hosted on BTP. Yeah, this API management is there, which can be it is a subscription based, and you have to subscribe based on your requirement. So if I can see, if I click on it, it will ask me to. So I can subscribe based on my customer can subscribe based on the requirement, and BTP is basically where all the services are hosted, whether it's a cloud integration, robotic automation, or API management. Everything is hosted on BTP. Okay, so if I want to subscribe, I can select, and I have to select the plan and all those things, and then customer can subscribe for this.
Abhijit, just to confirm, this is for cloud-based, right? Nothing to do with on-prem.
Oh, no, this can be used for on-premise also. Let me show you. For example, when we talk about this API management and API hub, so this API hub, whatever APIs are available, these are the public catalogs or all SAP APIs, or from the partners also, and customer can use it. But for this API management, here customer can create their own APIs, and they can consume it, and also they can use it for the revenue model, as a revenue model for them. And this can be used for on-premise, public cloud, hybrid, or managed cloud, any of them. I will share these slides also. So the standard slide, yeah, you can see APIs, API management, and there are so these are certain use cases where we can use these accelerated models using some digital apps or some real-time data sharing options. Okay, so this API management, it is not only for cloud, but for on-premise systems also. So okay, so here we can see API management for even it's a developer portal is also available for API management, where we can create our own applications, our own processes. And there is a separate service for master data integration. So this is not specific to cloud. It can be used for on-premise systems also. So I suggest you can you should just refer this API management service in BTP also. Okay, so yeah, so Shiva, so this is all about integration. So if we have any further questions.
Any questions for Abhijit? Thanks to all the members for your time to attend this. Yes, I think we have a question.
No, nothing from us. Nothing.
Perfect. So thanks to all for attending the session. And thanks to Abhijit for his time to enlighten us on this topic. Thanks a lot. See you next month again.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Abhijit.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Shiva. Thanks, Abhijit. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.